Welcome back to the Precision Trader. I just wanted to do another order book session for today's trading, November the 3rd. So with that said, sorry, it's been a while since I posted a video. We made a trip back to the States, and anyway, I've had a lot of things to get done before we head back to South America. With that said, we're going to start with AMC today. Also, too, before I forget, for any of the members watching this, we will be doing our first live session. Everybody knows that I usually send out screenshots of the plays in the server, but tomorrow morning we're going to be doing a live order book session, and also too, what I'm going to do is I probably won't be so I can help ones with questions, stuff like that. I'll just take off from my personal trading, and anyway, just help ones with their questions and just look through stocks to, just kind of help you to understand, because, hey, I'm a big proponent of teaching a man how to fish versus just giving a man a fish. And yeah, that's it's been very encouraging to see the progress of ones in the server being able to call out plays, and we're looking forward to having more that can do that as well. With that said, we're going to start with AMC. Now, we're starting here in the pre-market, and if you've watched previous videos before, we know that we like to look at the pre-market to get just a bias on the day. And what we're looking for is we're looking for these major bands of liquidity. When we see these orange and red levels, we know that there is significant orders looking to be filled, buyers and sellers at those levels. So, and we know that stocks, market makers, gravitate towards liquidity in an effort to keep stocks moving, because if we didn't have that, I mean, we'd have a lot of sideways. So anyway, so market makers, they push to levels of liquidity. So it gives us a nice bias. So with that said, this is AMC. We'd mentioned it, was it yesterday and the day before, that 39 and 40 liquidity was really, really good there. So a push to $40 on AMC was very, very likely. And sure enough, that's what we got today. Popped up to 42 in the pre-market and then dropped to 41 before the open, right here in the pre. So again, but we see here to start the day, where's our bias? Look at all this: 43, 44, 45, just loaded with liquidity. And when we can't compare it to what's below, not as much below. So our bias is definitely to the upside. So let's we'll scroll on over here. We're on 1 minute candles, FYI. And let's see what we get when we get to the open. Let me go to the I'll go to the 50-cent increments. Now, what do we see happen at the open? We see, pops right up to our first line of sellers at 43. And of course, I'll show you in a second, but we got in our short position here. We were playing the $1.50 rejection, and we were playing it back to the VWAP. And sure enough, we got our nice rejection back to the VWAP. Quick money there. And then also, again, we were playing it for 40, 44 as well. And as we see, it ended up coming all the way back to the VWAP, and struggling in there. Sent out an alert that really after you lose the VWAP, lose the VWAP and you start getting these rejection candles underneath here, whenever you get back to the VWAP, you're gonna have sellers. Where you're on top of it, you got buyers waiting at the VWAP. Well, see what happens. It pushed up here, 42.30 VWAP, knocked it right back down. And really, we didn't have significant buyers coming back in the book until 39 to 40. And as you see here, at 40, they bought it. They tried to buy it back up. Didn't get much out of it. Sellers, just wasn't strong enough. And we get to the middle of the day, volume starts drying up. It's not and really there's not a ton of people wanting to buy in here. Like I said, when I see this, not much here, and I see this huge level right here, more than likely we're going to gravitate to it, and that's exactly what it's doing right now. Pretty much you can all be guaranteed. It's pretty much there. You can all but guarantee that's going to come right to here, and then we're going to have a pump or dump situation. More than likely, we're going to come in here, bounce into these buyers, and then she's going to pop right back up to 40. And that's really going to be our make or break right there. So that's That's AMC. I'll tell you what, I want to watch it for a second, if you don't mind. It'd be going a lot faster if we had in the middle of the day volume dry up. Let's zoom in a little bit. Come on. I just want y'all to see it pop, hit these buyers. Now, granted, there's some sellers and take profit people in there as well, but definitely some buy the dippers in there. Come on. Drop 20, 30 cents. Let us see it. There we go. Sucking right down to it. All right, feeling some of them as we speak. There we go. Feel. All right. Starting to feel its belly a little bit. So again, if you're playing the dip, this is where you're buying the dip right here. Just above the top of this liquidity. And where are you playing it to? You're playing it right up here to these ones right up under 40 that are looking to take profit. But again, this is the middle of the day. This is not the ideal time to be trading whatsoever. You got a lot of stop hunters. Yeah, come out at this time and they're just, yep. Okay, see, there's our pop right out of those buyers. Okay, all right. Don't want to take up any more of your time on that one. So we had 2 winners on AMC today. Let's see what else we had winners on. Okay, OSTK. Mentioned this morning in our pre-market that if OSTK could hold, if we get some support candles on top of 100 to open at the open, 105 was all but guaranteed. Okay. But at the same time, if that broke, we started getting rejection candles up underneath 100, 95 was coming. Well, we see that at the open, that's what we got. So we were playing the rejection at 105, and then we ended up rejecting all the way back to 103.60 in there to the VWAP. That was our take profit signal. Sent the screenshots. And then again, I sent out the alert that we were looking for rejections at, we're still looking at rejections at 107, 108, all the way up to our golden short, which was 110. Anyway, nice rejection here at 108, rejects all the way back down to 105.70, somewhere in there, pushes it back up to this liquidity, absorbs these sellers right here. It knocks it down a little bit. So support, and then it pushes to right up here to the sellers, ready to rock and roll at 109. So yeah, and we see that they were making a nice little wedge of liquidity right in this spot. So that's always a strong sign that she's going to get knocked down quite nicely. Ends up getting knocked down all the way to this 106. The VWAP buyers were right here ready to try to buy it back up, and they did. They bought it back up $1.50, but yeah, they just couldn't hold it. This liquidity was too strong, gravitational pull to it. Sure enough, pulled right to it, bounced right back up another $1.50, and it finally comes down. And you see this line, it disappears. That means it has been absorbed. Now, with that said, as soon as it got absorbed, go down to 20-cent increments, you see buyers started pouring right back in at 104.60. So that is OSTK. Now, I can all but guarantee you OSTK will be making its way back to 110 and more than likely 115, 120. So just keep that in mind. Now, granted, you're going to have probably at least one, maybe 2 more rejections on the push back up to 110, because that's, as of right now, that's a ton of people wanting to take profit in that area. So, but if we do break 100, these buyers here at 100, 95 will be retesting. If for some reason it goes to 95 before 110, it will be a great, now as long as SPY isn't falling through the floor, their overall market, that will be a great buy the dip at 95. We actually called it out yesterday that 94.90 was the great dip buy the dip spot. And sure enough, it went to the 94 buyers and they popped it right back up. And that's ultimately is what's been the catalyst to help keep it running all the way to 109. So had a couple winners off OSTK today. Very nice. Let's see what else. Tesla. Yeah, we killed Tesla yesterday. We were waiting for that pushback to 1,200 yesterday. Yeah, waiting for it. And sure enough, we pounced on it. Yeah, we pounced on it. All right. So Tesla. See what it looks like. Now, Tesla is a liquidity hog. It loves it. Now, we see that at the open today, runs right up to this huge band of liquidity at 1190, proceeds to knock it all the way back down to 1170. Nice buy the dip. You see, it wasn't too much of them here, but as it pushed through, it started building, adding more buyers, and then they popped it all the way back up to 1187 right in this area. And then you can see the wedge. See this wedge right here? This wedge of liquidity. Same thing that happened yesterday, but yesterday was even crazier. But you see this wedge of liquidity starting to come down here. People just dragging orders down, sell orders, short order, all this. When you see that, yeah. Now, but of course, you know, our Fed comes on. Or they, you know, all the Fed hype, and yeah, they all of a sudden it just bam, just reverses right above this 1150 buyers right here. You can see that, yeah, they jumped ahead of these monster buyers here at 1150, and they pumped it all the way back up right here to the next major line of sellers, 1185, and then from there knocked it down. Sellers came right back in the book. See, again, they're continuing to make the wedge. Again, you see that? Yeah, it's not a good sign for continuing to push up. It's a good sign for rejection. So I see this came in the book. And then after this, after it came down here, these sellers came right back in the book. I mean, that's just, they're just knocking it. So I told a guy earlier, he said, man, it's pumping back up. I said, well, don't worry. It'll be back in the 1150s pretty quick. And we're well on our way there. So with that said, I'll tell you what, I don't want to make this video too long. With that said, we'll have our educational video tomorrow at the open for anyone that's, well, it's just going to be for members tomorrow morning. So if you are a member, please come on out, check it out. I'll probably try to start doing it once a week. See how the guys like it. Or really, I know they'll like it. It's just a matter of support. See how much support we get. If there's a decent amount of support, then we can make it we can definitely make it a mainstay, because it's like one guy, one of the new members, he mentioned, I mean, he said, yeah, he said it's so nice to have something that just works so good. He said trying to play the bull flags and the bear flags and the VWAP and all this stuff all the time. He said it's just not consistent. So anyway, so I know where he's coming from. I can definitely sympathize with him. I mean, there's a lot of things that can work sometimes, but you know, it's one of those that it can be quite devastating if you don't have something that's consistent. So with that said, that'll do it for this video. Thank you for taking the time and watching it, especially you who made it all the way to the end. And I hope the rest of your trading day goes well, and may the market be with you.